Ever wake up in the morning and you're paralyzed, you can't move? Stick around if you want to know more. You wake up from a sleep. You're awake. Your eyes might still be closed, but you know you're awake. Some people report their eyes are open and you can't move. To me, it happened over in my life 1,500 times, easy and counting. I'm a good specimen to check out to see why is that happening? Why is it happening so much to somebody? For me, the way it happens is I'll wake up. I know I'm awake. My eyes are still closed though. I know I'm awake because I could hear, stuff in the room, or you know you're awake. Yeah. When you wake up out of a sleep, you don't sleep and all of a sudden when you wake up your eyes open. Of course you know that, right? You wake up, it's like a gradual, and then you're awake but your eyes are closed still, right? And then you say to yourself, do I, maybe if it's in the morning, you'll say to yourself, do I get out of bed now? Do I keep sleeping? Whatever. But you're awake, but your eyes are closed. Okay, so the way it happens to me is I wake up, my eyes are still closed, but I can't move. Not even a finger. I can't even open my eyes. Nothing. And it is accompanied by this feeling of, pure anxiety, like claustrophobic. So if anybody's claustrophobic or fear of heights or fear of anything, that high anxiety, well, I get that high anxiety when I'm in a sleep paralysis. I get that high anxiety. I have no idea what it is because usually when the paralysis starts, I'm still calm. You know what I mean? It's not like the paralysis starts and it's pure anxiety. It's like I can't move and it's as if that is giving me anxiety. The fact that I can't move gives me anxiety. And so much anxiety. It's incredible. It's pure torture. To be honest with you, it's pure torture because you can't move, you can't tell anybody, and no matter how hard you try, you can't break through it. Now, once in my past, I did break through it. Let me tell you what happened. I woke up, again, can't move, paralyzed. This was more in the early days. This was like, it started with me in the early 20s, 22, 23. That's when it really started, like several times a week for the first year. You know what I mean? Several times a week. And then after that, it kind of calmed down, but it goes up and down. But anyways, okay. So what happened to me when I broke out of it once was I wake up. It was the morning. I can't move, same thing like usual. And I gave it my all. I gave it my pure anxiety. Of course, through all this, I'm feeling pure terror, anxiety, terror, fear. I don't know what. There's nothing, I don't know what I'm afraid of, but pure anxiety you get, or pure fear. And I tried my hardest to break it. I probably was working on it for as hard as I could for at least a minute, as hard as I could, gave it my all. And guess what? I woke up. I broke out of it. It's just started with a finger. So, if you get the finger to move, you're not out of it yet. You have to, but that can give you maybe 2 fingers to move, then more fingers, then the hand, and eventually when you're in control of too many things, you wake up. And I did. I woke up. However, when I woke up, I got up, I went to the bathroom, and I was so groggy. I was I was still so tired. I was so groggy, sleepy, tired, which doesn't make sense because, I slept the whole night. So, I had it just, I couldn't even think correctly. I couldn't even speak correctly. I wasn't awake. I wasn't pure 100% consciousness awake yet. My consciousness wasn't 100% awake yet. So what ended up happening is I looked at the clock and let's say it was 10. I don't remember what time it was. Let's say it was 10 a.m. And then I said, man, I'm too tired. I'm too sleepy. I'm going to go back to sleep and just relax. But what happens, I fell asleep again. And then I woke up after that and I looked at the clock. It was only like five minutes, maybe 5-10 minutes max. So it was like 10:10, let's say. So 10 minutes. But guess what? The grogginess that I just had, zero, nothing, zilch. It's as if that never happened. I woke up pure normal, pure awake, pure, I felt 100% normal, even though 10 minutes ago I had all that grogginess and tiredness, which I couldn't explain. So that's my story of me breaking out of that paralysis that I had. But most of the time I can't break out of it. What ends up happening, it's kind of a scary thing because you're not fighting it. You're allowing it to happen. And in some ways, like when you're fighting it, anxiety gets worse. But in a way, even if you don't fight it, anxiety gets worse. When you're paralyzed and your eyes are closed, along with the feeling of anxiety, it kind of feels like you're falling asleep again. But for some reason, there's tons of anxiety, so you kind of don't want to. But what ends up happening usually is you fall back asleep. And then you wake up and then you're normal. Sleep paralysis has been reported for hundreds of years, actually. And different cultures have different names for it, and their description is slightly different and all that, you know. More or less the same thing. You wake up paralyzed. So in my experience, I never sensed anybody. I never saw any lights. I mean, I never sensed a presence in the room or a being or anything. I never felt any sensation like somebody's touching me, which some people get. You know, I never felt a sense anybody coming on the bed, which some people feel. Well, my eyes are always closed, so I can't see nothing. I mean, once I did get paralyzed and my eyes were open, but that's a complete different story because it is so different than the sleep paralysis that I had like 1,500 times at least in my life. It was I don't know what well, I'm going to make a video of it once, but the whole room was like, it was like midnight, but the whole room was lit up like daylight, and I was frozen behind my eyes open. And so I'll make another video coming up. Okay, so if you believe scientists, you know, scientists that don't have a spiritual bone in their body, scientists say it's simply chemical. There's something involved, chemical imbalance or a chemical that didn't do its job or not enough of this chemical or something chemically related in your brain, because they say that, scientists say that when you sleep, there's a chemical that gets released or something like that, you know, something like that. I don't know details, but which prevents you from moving. That's what they say. That's what they claim. It's so that when you have dreams, it doesn't mimic, you know, you're not going to imitate that in bed. You're not moving in bed. That's what scientists say. Scientists said that, so it must be true. Okay, that's it, folks. That's all for today. But, you know, I rather get my information decentralized from different people around the world, see what they have to say, and not rely on a centralized information and just accept that as absolute truth. Because honestly, scientists don't know how this world works yet. They have no clue how this world works. We're figuring out stuff slowly, but I mean, if you don't put spiritualism, and when I mean spiritual, I'm talking about religion, I'm talking about consciousness, that aspect, and all the stuff that's been proven that consciousness can do to matter without touching it and just from thinking. If scientists don't incorporate that into their formulas, it's gonna take a long time to figure stuff out in this universe the way it works. So some people, when they have this sleep paralysis, they claim they see lights. They claim that they sense people around in the room with them, around the bed. Some people see shadow beings because some people have the paralysis, but their eyes are open. Some people sense or see a hag or a witch that is over them. And sometimes they're pushing on their chest, making it hard for the person to breathe. Some people say that they see aliens. You know, those gray aliens, big head, big eyes and all that. The grays, as they call them. Some people say they see that. Also, this phenomenon of alien abduction, some people claim that, well, most of them, they're paralyzed, and then they see aliens that come and get them, and then they're floated out to a spaceship or somewhere else, usually through walls and windows that are closed. But that's for another episode. I'm just reporting back testimonies of what people say that they claim that they saw. Of all the research that I did, I never heard anybody claim that they saw angels or it was like a positive, good experience with no anxiety and all that. Never heard of that. None. That's interesting to know. Anyways, we'll be right back after this.
Go.
If you are interested in consciousness, spirituality, extraterrestrials, quantum physics, economics, and much more, subscribe now. We discuss all these topics in easy-to-understand layman's terms. Subscribe now. How was that?
We're still rolling.
No high school diploma required. So over the years, I came across people that we got into this conversation, and I explained them, what my experiences and stuff like that, including my brother. And he's like, yeah, weird, never happened to me. Until years back. I think he was in his 40s. Anyways, he said that he told me that, hey, that paralyzing thing that you told me about when you wake up? It happened to me. And I'm like, really? Tell me more. So he said he woke up once, paralyzed, same thing. But I think he said his eyes were open. And I think he broke out of it. I'm not sure 100%. But anyways, he said he saw or thought he saw a shadow being for an instant, just for an instant. And my brother is not the type of person that, he's not a paranormal guy. He doesn't talk about stuff like that. You would think he's kind of more like an average person. So I found it very surprising that he told me that. I never saw a shadow being. I guess it's different for everybody. So what is it exactly? Well, we don't know what it is. And I'll bet all my money it's not what the scientists say, because if it's what the scientists say, then they should all be the same. So just like with a lot of stuff that science is wrong, we don't know what it is. Just like scientists don't know what dreams are. Scientists say dreams are you pick up memories during the day, they get stored somewhere. Then when you sleep, those memories go like long-term storage, and it's the movement from short-term to long-term storage that you're going to see images and stuff like that. That's their explanation of dreams, which that's not true. I mean, when you go to sleep and you're unconscious in a sleep state, yeah, some of that is true. And you know when that's true? Usually when I wake up, when I'm close to the morning and you wake up, I'll have stuff in my dream that I'm dealing with, like, that week, or the days before. I will have some. I will have like overlaps. Like, let's say boat. I'm looking at a boat, and I'll have a dream. Hey, I'm on a boat, or I'm looking at a boat, and stuff like that. Yeah, that happens. But to have a broad brush stroke and say all dreams are that's not true. Explain lucid dreaming. There's so many different types of dreams. There's people predict the future. I mean, there's so much to it. We don't know. Scientists don't know what dreams are. Same thing with sleep paralysis. They don't know. Now, that's probably a valid point. What they have, probably what I have is what they're saying. I'm just taking a wild guess here, taking a stab at the dark. I might have maybe chemicals in the brain or something, and it seems to me that I am getting the sleep paralysis that science is presenting as what it is. Maybe I'm like, I have the symptoms of their explanation of, that thing where you have these chemicals that get released so you don't move when you sleep, and, I wake up too fast, or a part of me wakes up and it didn't give the signal to the other part of me to wake up. I think I have that. But the people that see things, sense things, hear things, have their eyes open and they see shadow people, that is not that explanation. That's not what that's. So basically, what is sleep paralysis? Sleep paralysis is a lot of things. It's one word we describe for a lot of things. When you get paralyzed, sometimes your eyes are open, sometimes they're closed, sometimes you see something, sometimes not, and so forth. So we don't know what it is because it's many different things. Same like dreams, we don't know what it is. There's not one explanation for dreams. There's so many things that happen when you're unconscious, sleeping in your bed. So what can you do to prevent it? Now, I think it's a bit true because I think I get the, the scientific explanation of sleep paralysis is when I'm on my back and my head is facing upwards, I do tend to get it more. And that's what they say too. When I lie on my sides, I don't really get it, or hardly ever, or it's like not as intense. So if you experience sleep paralysis the way I described it, or anyway, give it a try. Start by not sleeping on your back. Try not to sleep on your back. Try and sleep only on your sides, not your back. Or at least if you sleep on your back, put your head to the side. Don't keep your head up. It works kind of for me. Maybe it improves it by 50%, 75%, but doesn't get rid of it. But there is definitely less. If you have any experience like this, sleep paralysis experience, I would like to hear about it in the comments below. Please let me know if you had a strange one, or if it's like the one I'm having, or if you see shadow beings or anything like this. Let me know. I'm very interested. Well, so that's it for this episode. Happy holidays. If you like this video, of course, like, subscribe, share it, and remember, centralized power is cancer. Love, light, and healing.